Number 27, final series of the year.
I was around.
And there's a strike to Vitor Ito. Is that when the bad blood was developing with Dietrich and all those guys?
No, that was past. That was 2019. That was crazy. What a year.
That was fun stuff. Tapper off the plate. Nice and casual. San Martin wings it to first. That was too easy. 3 up, 3 down. 7.5 gone by. Colombia on the verge of a shutout over Brazil. You are looking live at Keno Veterans Memorial Stadium on a beautiful Sunday night in Tucson, Arizona. Sunday Night Baseball with former big league pitcher Steven Brault. I'm Greg Caserta, producer Mike Trainer, and the rest of our wonderful crew. Bringing you in 2 of our doubleheader. And your favorite name here, Artur Sugiguchi.
Yeah, my favorite pitch, too. That thing was big and slow. 57 miles an hour. That's an ethos.
We've seen some yackers here tonight, 2-1. Colombia's number 9 hitter Francisco Acuna, who's 1 for 3 with an RBI double.
We actually saw Sugiguchi use one of those last inning too, and he got an out with it. Big slow curveball, not something you see in the States very often anymore, obviously.
You look at his face and you go, man, he looks like a baby. That's because he is. He's only 19 years old. Has played on Brazil's U18 teams in the past, but this is a much tougher task. Facing a lineup with a couple of former big leaguers. Went back to that slow one, but Acuna's not biting. It's a leadoff walk, and that's another thing that I think we saw that so much with Germany, that a part of this tonight for the Colombian team, they've had 6 walks plus 1 more intentionally.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of there's been a lot of base runners on for Colombia. Early in the game, it was mostly the hits, and they weren't finding ways to score the guys when they got on base. Now we've seen that change. We've seen a few intentional walks, we've seen a few regular walks, and just a lot of traffic on the bases for Colombia, and they've been taking advantage of it in a big way. Like you said, 5 doubles out of their 10 hits.
Mikel Arroyo fouls off the first one. Split last season between single A and high A. Hit 285 overall, a 909 OPS. 23 home runs, 89 ribbies. Did it playing at 19 and 20 years old.
Definitely a guy who's on the 30-30 radar going forward in his career as he grows a little bit, maybe get a little more consistent with the power.
He was 23 homers and 18 stolen bases a year ago. And he had a handful of accolades handed to him at the end of the season. Baseball America High A All-Star, a Baseball America Minor League All-Star, and a Northwest League Postseason All-Star.
It's a good season. It's a good season.
Bringing home some hardware. It happened between now and then, but I know that Arroyo has the talent and the upside. Pitch a bit off the outside.
The fans love the ethos.
Yeah, they do.
They love it.
But you look around the seating bowl here in Tucson, and there's a lot of blue and a lot of yellow. A couple of flags draped over people's backs. They come out in full support and full voice tonight. This one hit very high in the air. Who wants it? Maciel charging in from center. And we have sung his praises all night. That one he's got to come in and get, but no problemo for Gabriel Maciel.
Yeah, a little bit different. It seemed like right off the bat, second baseman Hoju thought that was going to be way out into center field. He was covering on the stolen base attempt by Acuna, and so nobody else has any chance. So Maciel has to run, I don't know, 150 feet to get there. Luckily that ball's hit high enough, and he was able to close the gap.
Harold Ramirez has hit into a couple of double plays during a 1-for-4 night at the plate. There's ball 1. Talking about youth and guys growing. Harold began his career in 2012 at just 17 years old. Breaks his bat, chopper to short, tailor-made. Ito handles it himself. Can't remember the last time I saw somebody hitting 2-3 double plays, but that's what happens. And now Brazil is down to its last 3 outs. In the 9th, so far, bullets and blanks from this Brazil staff, which was headlined by 6 shutout from Julio Teheran. Good spot.
Tehran could have gone the whole game. I truly believe that. He was so efficient. If he kept up the same pace, he would have made it 8 1/3. It's impressive. We saw Solbach do that in the first game, be very efficient, get through 6 1/3. I thought there was no way anybody was going to throw more innings than that. Tehran didn't today, but he absolutely could have.
You and I probably would have guessed if we see a starter pitch into the 5th, that's pretty darn good.
Right.
We saw 2 here on day 1, pitch 6+. So
very impressive.
The 3rd reliever of the night for Colombia, following Zabaleta and San Martin. They made quick work of Brazil in the 8th.
I think one of the differences in this Colombia team that you see is pretty much anybody who comes in the game has some affiliated experience. Even a guy like Pedro Garcia, he pitched for 5 years in the minor leagues for the Reds from 2019 to
manage the club. They had some big names in that dugout for Brazil. Just kind of finishing the point on Pedro Garcia, Steven. 5 seasons in the Reds organization, 21 career saves.
Yeah.
So he
used
figures
to
be their stopper.
Yeah, used to being at the end of games. Really important to have guys that have that experience. There's something different about the last 3 outs. Everybody will tell you that. And it's hard to really glean if you're that guy until you just get thrust into the role. So somebody like Garcia, who's got experience there, can be invaluable.
He's throwing darts. He's been up at AAA. And he's got that tennis player grunt going every time he unloads.
Gotta love that. Have you noticed that the Colombian team is wearing the snapback hats?
Not till you just said it.
Yeah.
Especially when you got that little tuft of hair coming out the back.
That looks nice.
Pedro Garcia feathering it out tonight. Pounds the zone, 2-2.
I might have to find myself a hat for each team here, because I'm a big fan of the uniforms in the World Baseball Classic. Colombia's got 2 uniforms. They're wearing the yellows tonight. We'll see the blues tomorrow.
2-2. Fills up to Gabriel Gomez. Colombia just 2 outs away from following Germany into the win column.
Big first day for both these teams. In order to get that win, put themselves in a good spot.
He blows Gomez away. 8 strikeouts tonight for Colombian pitching. And they've barely broken a sweat.
Yeah, it's been efficiency throughout the entire game. There have not been any free base runners. Not one walk or hit by pitch by this Colombian pitching staff. And when you're facing a team that maybe is not as highly ranked as you, especially on the offensive side, the best way to keep them off the board is it the pitching by Colombia or the offense by Brazil. And I think Brazil overall did a pretty good job of putting the ball in play. They just had a hard time coming by good, solid contact. And I think that catch by Urshela down the shortstop had really cut in early and been an extra base hit. That kind of makes things feel a little bit different. But still unable to capitalize in the 7th as well.
And now Brazil's down to its final strike. And they better get right, because they've got a quick turnaround tomorrow. 1 o'clock local time here against a German team. 11 a.m., beg your pardon, 1 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock here in Mountain Time.
Mountain Time's confusing because it doesn't change.
2-2. Inside outed and fan foul. The German team that absolutely blitzed China today. 12-2 final in 7 innings. The game will be simulcast on MLB Network tomorrow. And then the nightcap between Colombia and China. That will be at 6 o'clock local time. Make sure we get all our times right here. 2-2. Swing and a miss. There's the tag, and boy, Pedro Garcia lets out a yell as he closes it out in style. Back-to-back strikeouts to bookend a 1-2-3 ninth and finish off this shutout for Colombia.
That's the story of today. The pitching staff by Colombia holding Brazil to only 3 hits, no free passes. Ended up with 9 strikeouts. Julio Tehran going 6 innings, only 1 hit. A bunt base hit was the only hit he gave up. Going 6 strong, 4 strikeouts. Zabaleta comes in, Garcia comes in. And man, it was a lot of fun to watch this Colombian team. That pitch is nasty, by the way. But a lot of fun
action right there.
This Colombian team, knowing that Brazil is known for their pitching, did enough offensively to propel themselves, especially when the pitching staff does what it does today. Julio Teheran, just the biggest story of the night.
And Pedro Garcia finishes it in true closer fashion. That man right there got it started, and he could have gone all night. Julio Teheran, 6 shutout, just 1 hit allowed on a bunt single. Just got